Welcome to Seattle Seahawks Minicamp. Oh yeah, you guys don't care. Hey, this is important stuff out here. Yeah, we had a good start to this thing. This is really the final push of off-season for us, obviously, and it's the time for us to really review what took place over the off-season, how far did we come, where we are learning-wise, and how we're doing teaching-wise, and try to assess that going into the summer. So when we come back, we can make some adjustments and fix things up, and so we can cash in come training camp. So everything's going fine. We're fortunate. We're pretty healthy, and we get a lot of guys working out here. So things are going along quite well.
We saw Jaron Reed doing some stuff today. How is he coming along?
Yeah, that's the first chance he's had to get back out there. He's been working a lot and conditioning on the side to make sure he's coming along. But yeah, just the fact he was out there was fun to see him out.
Can I ask for 2 injury updates on Marquise Blair and Travis Sommer?
Yeah, Travis, I think, got a little bit running in today. Marquise is still coming back from a hammy that happened, I don't know, about a week ago, 10 days ago. It's unfortunate, too, for the young guys. These practices are so important to them. We missed the opportunity to learn them, and they missed the chance, to pick up on stuff and get reps and all that. So it's unfortunate. The little bit that he's had, he's looked very good, and we're disappointed we can't get him back out.
Ben Burke-Irvin, we haven't seen him out there either.
Yeah, he had athletic hernia surgery about 6 weeks ago now, so he's back running. He's out, did the walkthroughs and stuff today, so he's back, just not quite ready to do this workload.
So what was it with Travis?
He had a hammy, I think.
What have you been? He hasn't been able to practice for you yet, but what have you learned about Ziggy Ansah since he's been around you?
Well, that he's a real smart guy, bright guy, picking up the scheme. He's in the walkthroughs and stuff. Today he was, so he's able to get the huddle calls and make the calls and adjustments. He's going to be really good at all that kind of stuff. What we know mostly is from watching him and playing against him, the kind of competitor and the tough guy that he is and the effort guy that he is. So we're counting on all that coming back. He's working really hard. He's doing great in his process coming back. It's just a matter of strength gaining for shoulders healed and all that. And so it's just making sure that we don't come back too soon and ensure that his recovery's for good.
Any estimate on when he might be on the field?
Well, we'll see. We're going to wait these 6 weeks coming up. Will be crucial, and we have a really specific plan set up for him. He has a little traveling he has to do to go home, but other than that, he'll be working with our guys throughout, and then we'll just see when camp comes. We'll take the camp to get it done, though. I'm sure. I don't think we'll rush him. There won't be a need to start him up right out of the chutes, and we'll see how he goes in the weeks to follow.
You say he's going home back to Ghana. What happened to Micah?
He got his foot turned a little bit, just got a minor foot sprain. He'll be fine. We're resting him. He won't work tomorrow or the next day, but he's okay. It happened Thursday, I think, in practice, so he's a little sore.
We've seen Phil Haynes kind of fill in for him a few times. What have you seen?
Well, we've given Phil a good shot. We've given him a shot to go with the ones to see what he looks like and give him an opportunity to have the benefit of the calls and all. Right now, this is because he's a first-year guy. He gets a little bit better shot than some other guys that have had some reps. It's really hard to tell until we get into pads with the guys up front, but he looks very much the part. He technique-wise, footwork-wise, he's coming along. It's different for him, our style of play, than when he was from. He was a classic no-huddle college team, was on the move all the time. And so it's different for him, but physically he looks really the part, and we're excited about the early signals that we're seeing.
You talked at the beginning of OTAs about wanting to maybe do some different stuff with Shaquem, and now that you've had a little time with him doing these different roles, what have you seen?
Yeah, it's been really a good deal for him. We see how much background he has on the edge. He's played safety and on outside linebacker for the most part in his career, and he's just more comfortable out there. That doesn't mean he can't play behind the line of scrimmage. He's gained a lot there, but you can see him on the edge in space and coming off the edge in pressures and stuff like that. It's a good spot for him. So he's had a very, very good offseason with us.
The stuff you're having him do, does that include just the Sam in base stuff, or
Yes.
is it more? Okay.
That's it. That's what we're doing. Sam and base and Will and nickel.
Okay. Does he or did he have to add weight in order to play on that side?
No, we want him to be really fit and make sure that his speed is his greatest asset, and don't want to try to get him big. And he came in a little heavier than he is right now. Matter of fact, last year, and he and Shaq both really put on a great performance in their off-season work. Now they had a plan. They worked together, of course, as they do, but they challenged one another to really get back in great shape, and they did it. They came back really fit and fast and looked good. So I'd rather see him at their fastest weight, strongest weight, than just numbers and pounds.
How much did he put on?
He didn't. No, he's lighter than.
Oh.
Yeah.
Is Shalom better at one of the safety spots versus the other?
He's versatile. He's got no problem playing both sides. He's got no problem. We're able to play him at strong and free and move him around and really count on him. He's got good awareness and good savvy. His disguises and his fits and those kinds of things are really natural for him, so he doesn't have any problem playing either side.
Now that you've had him for a month, where do you see Gugu Amadi's best position will be?
Well, we're still going to take a look at him in nickel. We've been short with our safeties. We haven't had enough guys, out there, so he's had to stay at safety the whole time. But we'd like to see some nickel. He's studying the position, but hasn't had the opportunity. He will when we come back to camp. But to us, he's a free safety.
Shaquille talked last week about how he may have put a little bit too much pressure on himself to make plays and resulted in sort of overextending himself. Did you see that at times last season?
Yeah, trying too hard is a big problem, and sometimes we try to make things happen that aren't there. So I think he is determined. He was not satisfied with the season last year. He had a really solid rookie season and expected to really take a big jump, and he didn't make the jump that he wanted to. So it's really focused him, on really setting his sights on the preparation, and it's obvious that he's done it. He's put in the work. His mentality is great, and I would think that maybe that jump he was counting on then might happen at this time, and we're expecting him to really do have a terrific season.
What happened to Amara Garbo?
He's had a sore knee that kind of got activated through the work. It's a knee that bothered him a little bit last year. And he didn't get injured. It's just sore enough that we want to make sure and get him through the camp and not let this be a factor going through the summer.
Jermaine just endorsed Dwayne Brown's notion that this line is a shot to be the best in the NFL. What improvements would you have to see to make that true?
Well, there's a couple things. We want to make sure our protection is really rock solid and that we clean stuff up. I'm glad that he's thinking that way. I got no problem with him thinking that way. I don't know if we're setting our sights on that yet. Maybe they are in the room, which is great. But we've got to come back and run the football like we did and find more ways to be effective in short yardage situations. But it'll come back to really the pass pro. We want to give Russ a really clean pocket back there so he can do his work, and that'll come along, I think, as we get together and the guys learn how to make their calls and fit together. Mike Iupati is a very well versed guard in terms of pass rush pickups and the stunts and stuff. He and Dwayne have been clicking stuff off really nice, and you can see that awareness. Of course, Mike's 340 something pounds, and DJ's three and a bunch, and so those guys are really stout, and if they can keep the pocket really solid at the line of scrimmage, and that gives Russ the kind of move space that he needs to do a lot of damage. So we look for that area to be the one to improve the most.
When you look back to the issues with pass pro a year ago, what were they that you saw?
Well, we started out. We had 12 sacks in the first two games, and we should have had come out of there with 3 or 4 or something like that, and had regular games, and everything would have been fine. We'd started really poorly. For the most part, we did a lot of good stuff, and we just need to continue just to clean things up and not let things get through. Back's part of it, tight end's part of it as well. Just get smarter and sharper, more efficient.
What happened to Iupati last week?
He just came down on his foot wrong and sprained his foot a little bit. It's nothing showed up, it's just a little bit sore, and he needs a couple more days.
How does Bobby Wagner handle from a leadership standpoint this whole odd situation he's in?
He's handled it beautifully. Bobby's an incredible player in this program, and everything that he does, his presence is obvious. He's been around for everything. He's been involved with everything, and he's handled it exactly the way he should under these circumstances.
Any progress on that, or what can you tell us where that?
We've agreed to not say anything about what's going on, where that is.
Michael Kendricks, is he still just kind of rehabbing from the knee? Or?
No. Mike's practicing. He hurt his pec a little bit in the weight room, and so he's been sore. But he's if you notice, last few days he's got his individual work and all the preliminary work, and we're just holding him back a little bit to make sure that goes away.
Good to see Gary Jennings get a little bit of work.
Yeah, really important. We missed all that. All those first few weeks. Every day is important for these young guys. Gary's started out well. He's come out. He's looking good, moving well, catching the ball well. Hasn't been very limited in what he's done, but just to see him in the drills and also we can see him move in comparison to the other guys, he's a really strong, well fit, speedy guy, and so it's going to be interesting to see how he fits into this whole thing. But he's behind though. This is putting behind. He's going to have to catch up.
What have you seen out of the backup quarterbacks?
They've been very competitive. They kind of go back and forth, and we keep numbers and stuff like that. They're statting out pretty much on par with each other, and they both guys are showing good arm and ability to throw the ball down the field. They're moving well too. Paxton's got some run in his background from his college days, and he took off on a real nice one today. I've been really impressed with Gino too. We've seen Gino not quite as much. You can feel the experience from him. He's handling the huddle, the line of scrimmage, adjustments and stuff like that. He's benefited from his years, and so he brings a little bit of savvy. It's nice to have. We haven't had a guy like that really since Tavares. That's played quite a bit as a backup, so it's good.
It seems like CJ Process has been really active up here these last few weeks.
CJ's been really on it. It's been great to see him healthy. He's been fit throughout. He's really strong. Worked out really hard in the off season to get his strength right. His weight is up, but he's fit and has really been able to do a little bit of everything. So to add him into the competition is really nice, and so we're fired up about CJ being back.
Your experience that you learn a lot about guys when they're in a situation like Bobby's, where the business side is kind of hanging over.
Sometimes, yeah. I can't say it always, but sometimes, it does. You get to see other sides of people, and particularly how he's dealing with his business. That's happened. But when you have guys that you really know and guys who've been around, we're not going to learn a whole lot. He's as true blue a guy as you can get, and we love him, and so. But it does sometimes, and you don't always see the good stuff either.
That's what I'm saying. Imagine there's guys that you never had a problem with, and all of a sudden some of this comes out.
Yeah, the process of contracts and stuff can bring out some dark sides, and sometimes that shows up.
How is Will Disley's recovery coming along?
On schedule. We'll get to camp and figure out what it means in camp. He's running, catching balls, and doing stuff in the workouts and all that. So he's making good progress. We think there's no reason for him not to be on schedule when we get back to camp, which would mean we'd want to really see him and again not rush him too. So it'll take us a few weeks into camp before we would think to cutting him loose.
Aside from Shaquille and Shaquem, is there anybody that stood out just for the way that the type of shape that they came back, they reported back to?
Nobody is in better shape than Chris Carson. I mean, he's just an extremely well-fit guy, and he's just razor sharp and all that, strength-wise, explosion-wise. He's always really impressive. Jay Reed is each year, the last couple of years, has just done a really good job in the off season as far as really working on his body and sculpting it and trimming down and being strong and explosive too. He'll come out in camp and ready to roll.
Two more receiver questions. Having a Caleb Scott and Malik Turner.
Yeah, Caleb Scott broke his foot in the off season. On his own workouts, and he had to have an operation, so he's just coming back from that. And Malik Turner had a foot problem that's been bothering him that he's just had to wait it out.
Brian Schottenheimer mentioned Jacob Hollister as a guy that's kind of stood out to him here over the last few weeks. So what have you learned about him since he's got here and the role he could fill for you guys?
Well, he's made a really good impression coming out. He's really fast. He's a speed guy. He runs in the 4.5s. Catches the ball well. It has learned really well. Obviously learned a lot from his days in New England. He's done nothing but positive stuff. We're really excited that we were able to get him. I mean, you don't think of him as part of this class, but he kind of comes in as part of this class, and he's doing a nice job competing for. Made a lot of guys turn their heads with the plays that he's made, and so it's great to have him.
If you were to move Tyler off the kicks or punt returns, is there anyone you would ideally like to see in those two spots?
Well, we've got some guys. J.D. McKissick has always been one of the guys that we like putting back there. He can catch punts and kickoffs. That's like the first guy we think of, so that would be the guy we'd go to. Some of the young guys look okay too.
Sorry. We keep asking you about Kendrick's legal situation. What do you guys understand and what's going to happen, where that stands?
Really, there's not much I can say that's going to be proper at this time. Everything's moving along, and he's real optimistic about how things are going, but really not too much to report. I can't tell you much more than that.
So it sounds like you expect expect he'll be on your team this year?
We do expect him to be on the team this year.
Al Woods, what is he?
Yeah, Al was gone today. He's got a family thing that he had to take care of, personal thing. Al's done a really nice job getting started with us. Over the years, if you guys look back at all the big guys that we've had that played the 3 technique and played nose tackle for us, he's right in there. You know, there's a number of guys that have been through here, and he's going to be able to fit that role for us. We're excited about him. Brings good leadership, you know, and a good attitude. Helps the young guys. Just an all-around really good fit for us. So it's worked out well.
Anything else?
Thank you.
See?